It's a time. It's a me, Mario, and it's a time for a Magic the
Oh
Amateur.
my god. And it's me, Luigi, the tall one, and that looks like Linguini.
Is he the tall one?
Yes.
Luigi, they're not exactly the same height.
Luigi's
Are
taller.
you kidding
Luigi's
me right
way
now?
taller.
It's a fact.
Are you guys serious?
Dead.
100%. Mario is short and fat. Luigi is tall and skinny.
Wow, I am definitely short and fat.
Hello and welcome to episode 245 of Magic the Amateuring, sponsored by Mario Kart.
We can't say that. I'm like 100% sure, Maria, that we have to take that back immediately.
Okay,
Or else Mario's gonna come for you in a little go-kart. He's gonna
Blue
run you
shell, blue
over.
shell. We have a blue cell situation.
Exactly. You may hear voices in the background that are not me, one of your hosts, Megan.
And you may hear voices and rumblings from tummies that aren't me, one of your other hosts, Maria.
Who are those other voices? Are they just voices in our heads?
Are they perhaps Peach and Daisy?
Are they voices in your heads?
Could be.
Are they Toad and Koopa?
Are they DK and Wario?
Are they Bowser and
Baby
Bowser?
Mini Bowser? That's right. We have special guests on this episode of Magic the Amateuring.
Yes.
And we're very excited to welcome them. But before we do, you're just going to have to stay in suspense as to who they are, even though they both have really recognizable voices that they use for a living.
Excuse me. I use my voice for a living.
Today's show is all about good stuff. That's the theme.
Yeah.
Good stuff, good people, and good times.
Oh, and good... Never mind. Never mind. I don't know.
Good grief.
Good grief.
And good grief.
Oh.
We're here recording live from a hotel room.
That's right.
In Boston.
That's where we are.
And why is that, Megan?
Well, do you know what? I just want to point out really quickly also that this hotel room has a balcony. You all have heard me talk about this several times today. People in the room already.
Oh, yeah.
It is scary.
Megan, you know a lot of Megan's fears on this show.
I have a fear of heights.
If you're a regular listener, add another one to the list. Balconies.
Yes. What is my whole... I don't have a long list. Dams and heights.
and having someone, your secret twin, steal your identity and commit a crime in your name.
That's not even a secret twin thing. That's just being
accused.
falsely accused of a crime.
Yeah.
Okay, that's three. I
That's
feel like
three.
three isn't unreasonable.
Okay, sure.
Well, moving on.
Yeah,
Why are we in Boston, Maria?
We're in Boston because of the World Championship.
Why are we in Boston?
It's an existential question, but non-existentially, we are here for the biggest magic competition of them all.
Yes.
This is the granddaddy of magic competitions.
It is.
The big kahuna.
It's the tall volcano.
The giant chocolate pudding.
It's the biggest tortilla.
A size 15 men's shoe of magic.
It is a world record pizza.
We've got the best players in the universe here to compete for the title of best in the world. And,
that's a big claim.
It is.
We don't know the other magic players not on Earth.
Well, I'm just gonna say that if they think they're so good, they can get their butts to Earth and compete in the World Championship. That's what
true.
I say.
If they want to contest this, they need to get over here and contest it for real.
Amen.
Sister.
So we're going to talk about the World Championship because we're here and it's coming up this week. And you better watch it on Twitch.
Yeah, you should.
We'll know. And we're going to talk about Ixalan Limited because it's just been released.
That's right.
And we've been playing a lot of it.
Yes, we have.
And we're going to give you our first thoughts on the format.
Word.
So you can go and crush your drafts or your sealed PPTQs or whatever have you back home.
Before we get real going, we have a couple people to thank. Those are, first of all, you, patrons of this show. People who are supporting and making what we do possible. Patreon.com/MTAcast. There are two patrons of the show, of the Less Than 1% Club, in the room with us.
That's
now.
right.
So thank you so much if you make it happen. Patreon.com/MTAcast. Also, CardKingdom.com/MTAcast. Go there. Singles, boosters, cards.
Oh yeah,
Magic
Card Kingdom
paraphernalia.
is the total
Boosters.
super good place to go to get cards. Is definitely what I was going to say.
Great.
Yeah, super fast, super awesome, and we love them. Thank you so much to them for supporting our show continually. And if you want to be as cool as these cats in the room with us who have yet to be named, become a supporter of the show on Patreon, and you'll be in damn fine company as these two lovely gentlemen.
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah, so let's do a show.
Yeah, let's.
let's talk about Ixalan Limited, you cool cats.
Wait, Maria, who
What?
are these cool cats?
Ooh, cool cats. Say your names and one fun fact about you, starting over there at the left.
I'm Tim Willoughby. I'm on coverage, and my irrational fear is walking up escalators that aren't turned on.
What?
That's true.
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he confessed this
We
to me
learned
last
this
night.
yesterday.
It's true.
Wait, what? Like, tell me more about this.
Can I tell him for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
go
his
ahead.
parents told him to be careful around escalators as a child because
Okay.
you could get sucked under.
Oh my god.
Well, that kind of stuck with young Tim Willoughby. He never recovered.
Wow.
But yeah, it just really weirds me out. I don't like it.
All right.
Wow.
Good fun
Okay.
fact. Second mystery guest, reveal yourself.
Hi, I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I was supposed to say a fun fact.
Yeah, fun
Yes.
fact.
Fun fact.
Irrational fear.
Irrational fear is on the
I
table.
designed these shoes.
That's a lie.
What?
I did.
Oh, you could pick all the stuff
I
about
picked
them?
all the colors, and this is my favorite color, and I picked it.
We're looking at kind of like a pinkish salmon color.
It's great.
It's called infrared.
I'll believe
Marshall
you.
is really hurt that you just called that salmon.
Pinkish salmon?
Doesn't that look like salmon to you? If
No,
you had
it's
to,
darker. It's deeper.
If you
than,
order
it's
that
deeper
and it
than
comes
salmon.
out, do not eat it.
It's maybe like a tuna. It's a good tuna.
a tuna shoe color.
Irrational fear is clowns.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's irrational.
This is definitely
Have you
vindicated.
seen a clown? Like that's one
Yeah,
of the
you're
scariest
right.
things you could see. But
you know
some
what?
people tell me I'm weird for that.
I
but
don't want to tell you a nightmare scenario, but we have several
Uh-oh.
friends who are professional clowns.
That's
honestly,
true.
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
none in the room.
No, none of them are in the room.
Like magician.
That we know of.
Yes.
Cool with that.
They are delightful people.
Yeah, you keep them to yourself. You can have your delightful people. I'll be over here without
how do you
the
feel
clowns.
about mimes?
Great question.
Mildly creepy, but not nearly as creepy as actual clowns.
Mimes are like if you split the difference between a clown and a person.
Serial killer. Oh. That's just a fact.
Wow.
One of my irrational fears is not drafting Ixalan, however.
Maria, that's just a bald-faced lie.
How do you like that segue?
I don't enjoy it. Tell us a fear.
Oh, you want me to tell you one?
Yeah.
I want to hear one.
All
too.
my fears are completely rational. Okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I've actually talked about this on the show before.
Okay.
But in case you haven't heard, my irrational fear is glitch screens on video games. So, like, say the video game back in the day, you're playing on who knows what, and it kind of glitches out or whatever,
yeah, where
and
it
it looks
weird.
really weird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, does that bother me?
That got you?
Yes. And do you want to know why?
I do.
Okay, this is the genesis of it. I was playing The Hobbit for GameCube. So where are my GameCubers at? Yeah! And what happened is I was creeping along a wall in it, kind of walking along a ledge, and I turned, like I had the camera angle go in such a way that what happened for maybe like 3 to 5 seconds was the characters, The Hobbit, flat art came up on screen. So it was horrifying. You know, like if you took it and you just flattened it out and it was just like, you know, like a big teeth, like
Like each
flat
of the
face.
polygon pixel
Yes.
things just went like a
Whoa.
map.
Yes.
Oh.
And I wasn't expecting it. Oh, it horrified me. So very
I
scary.
feel like I might be developing a new irrational fear.
Wow. Anyway, that's where mine comes from. Thanks for bringing it up. Okay. Yeah, anyway, excellent.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just still thinking about how I feel like my room is haunted, and like I can't get over
They're
that
all
feeling.
the same.
We're in Boston.
But your room's haunted by the ghosts of revolutionaries past.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So you're okay.
Yes. For those of you who are wondering what the heck is going on, we are staying at a hotel, the Revere Hotel in Boston, and it is haunted by the ghosts of Revolutionary soldiers.
It is named
yeah.
after Paul Revere too. This
And
isn't-
he is everywhere in here.
There's
He's
lots
on this
of
wall.
There's lots of weird art of founding fathers and revolutionary soldiers.
This picture of Paul Revere, though, that I'm
I
sorry
don't
you
think
can't
that's
see.
That's not Paul Revere.
Well,
That's
it's
not
definitely
Paul
a
Revere.
revolutionary babe. Like, look
Yeah.
at that guy.
I appreciate the knee patch.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
You know?
it's so neat.
You
He's a
know,
little rustic.
have you ever looked at pictures of Civil War soldiers back in the day,
He
stuff
has a
like
great
that?
jawline, though, doesn't he?
A revolutionary babe.
They're like, if you look at the dudes, their hair and everything, they're super stylish. It looks like they could be from today, and they just went back in time and got their photo taken. It's kind of uncanny.
Yeah, there's actually a there's two busts on the wall here of revolutionary forefathers, except for they have neck tattoos and piercings.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding either.
I dig it.
It's funny.
It's real weird. And
I dig it. I'm into it.
Bizarre.
One has an anchor on his neck, and the other one has like a bird or something.
Yeah. I think those are the exact ones. I think those might be in every room.
I think they
They're in
are.
my room.
Like they're in
mine
my
too.
room.
And the ghost horse over here. The ghost horse is in all of
Oh,
them.
that was
that's
your
What?
ghost
I
horse.
don't think I
Ghost
have Ghost
Horse.
Horse.
That's Nightmare.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bringing it right on back.
Boston really likes to push the point home of like, hey, stuff went down here.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very true.
You know what I
We
mean?
actually have a mural in the downstairs lobby of the Boston Massacre.
Like, why is that there?
That is
is
rough.
weird
it
to me.
feels a little bit out of place. I won't
I
lie to
agree.
you.
I agree.
It's difficult.
You know what doesn't feel out of place?
Ixalan Limited.
I'm the queen of terrible
Marshall bringing it
segues.
home with a
Can't fall off this segue.
great,
Oh boy.
great transition.
So before we were here in Boston, we actually took a train to Boston today. We
Yes.
were in Providence, in the smallest
Right.
state in the Union, Rhode Island, and we were watching some Team Limited. So we got to see Sealed and what?
Did you just pronounce the H?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Rhode
I just wanted
Island.
to make sure
It's
that
not
that's what I
silent.
heard with my ear.
It's not silent.
You gotta
Rhode
get
Island.
full value on all those letters.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, carry on. I
Thank
just had
you.
to make sure that's what happened.
And we got to watch.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Oh yeah,
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. And we watched Team Limited, but we didn't
Yes,
watch
in
just
Providence.
straight up draft.
That's right. Well, at the end we did. We watched Team Draft.
Team draft.
Team Draft.
And I want to know, everybody, what you think the keys are to the format that based on what we witnessed this weekend. It's very new, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw one thing down on the table.
Yes.
Fast. I think it's fast.
Yeah, it does seem to be fast. That's typical for early in a format that, people will kind of latch on to the tried and true strategies that they know, which are playing creatures with a good mana curve of creatures, playing combat tricks, and playing removal spells. And that doesn't leave a lot of room in those type of decks for other things like experimenting with, maybe a funky rare or a funky uncommon that you haven't seen or tried out yet. But it has been true in virtually every limited format ever, with a few exceptions, that those type of decks can get wins. So you'll often see the competitive players, they'll go towards those type of strategies early because they know that those type of things work. And then as we get a little deeper into the format, we'll start to suss out which type of these niche strategies are successful and which ones aren't.
And watching a couple of, not necessarily the stuff that we were watching on coverage, but behind the scenes, watching people who are doing drafts in the after hours.
Yes.
We
That
we
was
got
me
to
last
see.
night, by the way.
After hours
Me all
drafts.
day.
We got to see we've seen some weird decks out there.
Oh yeah, Tim, tell us about your favorite deck to draft.
So, tribes are rad in this format. It's a tribal format, and you can be like, okay, I'm black, white, and vampires. I'm red, green, I'm dinos, or whatever. But you can also just sort of go, well, I'm going to mainly draft these colors and take good cards, but then if you've got treasure, splashing is totally fine, if not encouraged. So I had a black-white dinosaurs, pirates, vampires-y kind of deck that with 2 contract killings was able to splash Tishana at 7.
He did. I saw it.
To be clear, no lands that
No
were
blue-green
either
lands.
blue or green.
None.
But like you cast 1 contract killing, which costs 5, you get 2 treasure, which means you've now got 7 mana, including a blue and a green, and you get to cast your bomb blue-green mythic and draw like 9 cards because you're playing vampires, so you have a million creatures in
Yeah,
play.
Tim's been pushing in this direction
Yeah.
further and further with these blue cards that, Sailor of Memes and that kind of card that will get you.
Lolcats.
Depths of Desire.
Yeah, exactly. Depths of Desire is another one. Prosperous Pirates that really do. I like where you're going with it, Tim, and I want to explore this space too of just saying, screw it, I'm playing everything, and I'm just going to have enough treasure, and by using the treasure, I'm going to be able to play cards that are more powerful over all 5 colors and overpower my opponent, because the consistency could be bad with that, but it doesn't take much. One Huatley can change the way an entire game goes,
Yeah.
even if you're in blue-black or whatever.
Yeah, I think that the cool thing is going to be trying to figure out which are the cards that are worth splashing. So
Yeah,
like,
that's a great point. yeah.
obviously, when you've got a bomb mythic, it's super easy. You're like, all right, I'm playing a deck that makes lots of creatures. I have a way of splashing. This is going to be good. But like figuring out is it worth just throwing a big old dino in my vampires deck because I just need a way of closing out a game?
You mean
with some
Gregory,
trample?
the 9/9 ancient
I think we all know
Brontonon?
that that's what he was referring
I think we're
to.
all talking about the 9/9.
Yeah. So Megan, that's a card that you've stuffed in plenty of drafts.
Oh, I certainly have.
And-
Sealed decks, draft decks.
Tell us why.
Do you know what? Because the honest truth is that in sealed, I looked at it and I was like, in that sealed deck, I was playing dinos already. I was like Naya dinos with a Huatli and some other stuff, and I was just like, I need a 23rd card, and that 23rd card should be something that's just like, I have a good curve already. I have all my removal. I have some good creatures. Like, it's gonna be this 8-mana 9/9.
Get in there, buddy.
Because sometimes sometimes you flood out.
I
And
just
then,
picture Gregory like, put me in, coach. I'm
Exactly.
ready. I got this. And
He's
Megan's
like,
like,
I'm
get in
big,
there.
I'm big, I'm
I'm
powerful,
old.
I'm tough. Like, I can do this, man.
Yeah.
And you just want to give that big old dinosaur a shot.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we all know he takes a shot a little bit later in the storyline
Yeah, he
from
does.
a destructive
From
figure,
that,
right?
from
Star
that
of
star of
extinction.
extinction.
Kills him and everything he knows. His entire world.
Oh,
Poor Gregory goes
Well, that's
out
part of
munching
the
on
lore
some.
of Gregory, right? He lives
Yeah.
for so long, munching on
ancient.
those leaves.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
goes away
gone
in
in
an
an
instant.
instant. We can
Wow.
learn a lot from Gregory's death, and
Yeah.
that's live life to the fullest. If you want to eat,
Eat
those leaves,
Yes.
eat those leaves.
Gorge
Yeah.
on foliage.
You never know when
Gorge.
there's a star coming down to smack you
Yeah.
in the bonds.
exactly.
And that's why she put him in her deck.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Just needed to give him his time in the sun before that sun fell to earth and ate him.
crushed
That's
Crushed
exactly
him.
what happened.
Destroyed his entire way of life. All right.
That's when the sun came to earth and killed all the dinosaurs. That's my report. Thank you, Jeremy, 4th grade. Where are you getting your information,
Do you guys
Jeremy?
ever think about how old archaeologists just like put bones together wrong sometimes?
Well, yeah. I mean, they didn't
I
have
It's
a
just a
map.
big old jigsaw, right?
It really is. It's
Well, they're
great.
all laying in a pile.
I
Like,
know. That's my. It's like that's
Can't
what's
be that
wonderful.
hard.
This one looks like it goes on the head. I'm
Actually, it
gonna
would
say.
be pretty bad though if two dinosaurs crashed into each other and died.
Exactly.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
dinosaur came and ate one of the dinosaurs' heads, and then it was just like, I don't know, you
What
figure
is
it
this
out.
weird?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
they
like,
combined
and,
two dinosaurs into
currents,
one.
or
They
like
did.
like moving like water that like moved bones around.
Yeah,
Could
I-
carry
what?
some unnecessary bones down to another bone pile.
What was the one that was not right? That we
Like
learned
all of them.
in our life was
I
incorrect
feel
and
like
it
they're
never
all
existed.
correct and perfect.
I mean, like, there was the whole thing with the feathers, right? Like,
Well, the feathers is a
Yeah,
problem
we know
too.
that. I'm thinking like they put together a dinosaur that
Wasn't
did
it?
not
Wasn't it
exist.
a Brontosaurus?
I want to say it was a
Don't say that.
brontosaurus.
I
Yes.
don't-
Don't take
what?
this. So this is my childhood evaporating.
Well,
Can we just
Marshall,
move on?
Brontosauruses are real and we're wrong. That's not the
You
dinosaur that
can
we're
go
thinking
on
of.
living
All
your
right.
fantasy
All
world.
right, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, like
We're
it
thinking of a
happens.
different dinosaur that they messed up.
That they
or
didn't
like when they
accidentally
always
put together and make up.
yeah, when they
Okay.
always change what T-Rex did for food. They're like, "Oh, it hunted." They're like, "No, it scavenged." Wait, it hunted again.
Wait, it cooked and it drank Soylent.
have you guys seen the picture of, like, where they were like, this is what, if they just found the bones of a goose, what it would look like as a dinosaur? Because, like, they
No.
go, if you just imagine it didn't have
so
feathers, and it
weird.
looks just like a dinosaur if you put it together and draw it just based on the bones.
Oh,
yeah.
my
And they reckon
God.
that's what happened, and they all just really look like birds.
Yeah, they all
Oh,
just
yeah.
looked like geese.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally, it's just all
Just a
Giant
bunch of
geese.
Straight
real
geese.
big old geese.
Wait, I don't like this.
Geese.
Like a big dumpy goose.
Well,
A
yeah.
Bronto goose.
big.
The biggest goose in all the land.
Marshall, in the world of words that don't get
Yeah.
used often enough,
Dumpy
dumpy is really
goose.
one of
We've
them.
actually been establishing a bit of a
A lexicon of unused words.
really-
Dumpy goose.
Dumpy, lousy goose.
Oh my goodness.
That's a Tinder profile if I ever heard one.
yeah.
Nothing but a
Swipe
dumpy
right
goose.
on that. Or is it left? I never-
Definitely right, Marshall.
Right's the good
Definitely
way.
right.
All right, so
So we've established,
we
you know.
also got to see another one of the coverage team, Neil Rigby, draft a 5-color
Can you refer
treasure.
to him by his God-given name?
Big Rig.
Thank
The big
you.
rig.
The big,
Big
rig.
Rig.
Yeah.
Sorry. First name Big, last name Rig.
Yeah. All aboard.
Just like 5-color monstrosity.
Yes, using treasure for fixing once again.
Yeah.
Neil is a very accomplished drafter, and so watching this deck 3-0 is kind of like watching a train wreck meeting a work of art. And
Like while playing a violin.
While playing
Like
a violin.
a train crashes while a violin is played.
and it's just glorious.
Yes.
So yeah, I think.
While Yo-Yo Ma is on cello.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
I think the
Wait,
possibilities
somehow
are there.
we just compared Neil Rigby,
And
the big rig,
No, we said Yo-Yo Ma was there.
on the train.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
You had me, and then it was like, wait.
So, like, I guess possibilities are open, and we talked to Martin Yuza this morning, and we said, what's the best comment in the set? Which, quick plug, if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MTAcast, you can see our video coming up on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow if you're listening to this when the episode is released, where we asked everybody their favorite draft common, and Martin Yuza was like, Territorial Hammerskull.
Why are you giving that away?
I'm just giving that one thing away. Nobody knows all the other ones.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's because aggressive, fast, that card's fantastic. Tap down your stuff. It costs 3 mana, you know.
It was really impressive. You know, you and I were in the booth for the whole GP weekend, and every time it came down, we're like, well, that's a problem.
There you go.
There was
Yeah.
a few times, you know, admittedly, where the player who played it was behind in the game, and it looked pretty bleh. But that was rare. Almost all the other times, it either kept them ahead or put them ahead in some type of a race scenario. And
That's pretty great.
I've been really impressed by that card.
Yeah.
So you two were and Tim, all three of you were watching, commentating. Do you guys have any highlights from this weekend?
Oh, yeah. All right, Marshall, your
Marshall,
hand
go
is
for
up.
it.
Your hand is up, Marshall.
I've been doing coverage in the booth now for 5 years and change. Like, it's been a while now, and a lot of it blends together. But Maria and I had a moment that will be, I think, one of my favorite coverage moments, because it's so centric to how this group of people thinks, the competitive Magic players, right? These little nitty gritty, detail-y
Yeah.
things. And we were watching a match between two really accomplished players. One of them was Owen Turtenwald, who's, you know, considered one of the best players in the world for the past, 3 or 4 years. And his opponent, his name is Osip Lebedovich. And Osip doesn't really play much. He recently got married. He's got a career. He's kind of stepped away from Magic. But he, at one time, was one of the better players, and in fact, had won a Pro Tour.
Yeah, Pro Tour Venice, right?
Yeah, I mean, so Osip is no joke. You know, when he puts his mind to it, he actually is in that upper echelon for players. Well, they're playing each other here at a team GP, and then they just happen to be the ones that were paired up against each other. And, this scenario popped up where Owen Turtenwald was tapped out and had a very valuable 3/3, the Shapers of Nature, on the battlefield. And Osip had 4 lands on his turn, and he had 2 creatures actually, but he attacked with one of them, and it was a
Atsakan
1/4.
Archer.
Yeah, an Atsakan Archer. And he attacked, and Maria and I, these are the type of little moments that can slip by easily. But we're like, well, wait a minute, let's talk about this for a sec, because Owen was really thinking about it. And basically, the idea was that Osip has what we'd call like a free roll attack, right? He has an attack where the worst case scenario is that his creature gets blocked and he doesn't get damaged, but nothing can die.
Right.
And the best case is he gets in for a free point of damage. And the thing is that Owen knows that, and Osip knows that, and Owen knows that Osip knows that. So, but the funny part
Fox
is
and
that,
socks.
yeah, Owen is at like 18 life. And he sits there and thinks about it for a couple of minutes. And that gave you and I the time to have a little conversation that's similar to what we're having here and talk about what's going through the players' minds. And, at some point, Owen's talking to William Huey Jensen, his teammate, on his left, and saying, should I block? And Huey's like, just block it. Like, he has to attack here. But Owen doesn't want to risk his creature.
It's one of the best creatures in his deck.
Maybe his best creature.
Might
It's on
be.
the short list. And so he decides, after a long think, no, I'm just going to take, it's 1 damage. He's going from 19 to 18 or 18 to 17 or something like that. And you and I were like, oh, he got it through. He took it. And right when that happens, Osip freaks out. And we see his hands, because remember, from our booth, we see exactly what you see on the screen. We don't have any extra cameras or any whatever's on your monitor is probably like a better version of what we see. And so we see his hands kind of fist pumping, and we hear him yell, Now, Maria and I are wearing noise-canceling headphones, like the big ones that go over your ears so that you can't hear anything else. And we could hear him through that. And he, in fact, got up, high-fived his opponents. He was screaming and yelling, and it was because he got through this one single point of damage. But, you know, the real moment that was fun is that you and I were all over it, right? Like, it wasn't just a moment that we let pass by and we're kind of like, oh, wow, he got really excited about 1 point of damage. That was weird. All right, well, there's the next turn. Like, we knew what was going on, and we got to bring one of those really intricate, nitty-gritty moments that you get here. Again, this is the kind of thing that, like, I get excited about. It's stupid. I mean, it's 1 point. Who cares, right? But, you know, it's not like a trophy being hoisted up or a big lot of money being given away, but I love those little moments, and we got one of the best ones, I think, this weekend.
I mean, it's fun to see a player have fun with the game, too, and to be like, I got one over on Owen Turtenwald.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Johnny Chan moment in there.
Yeah, I bluffed a big ringer. Yeah, he was really excited about that, too, in kind of a fun way. It's also one of the things that we also talked about while we were on the stream that was interesting, too, is, you know, OSIP is from another time, and I mean, Tim can speak to it better than I can because he was working on coverage while this was going on. But, you know, people used to be just a lot more flamboyant, and they were more willing to poke fun at or sometimes even humiliate their opponent. Yeah, I mean, you know, to say, like, I got you. You know, I did it. And, you know, these days, the Magic crowd at the Pro Tour events is a little bit older now. You know, they've matured as a group. And that is really frowned upon. And for obvious reason. It's rude, right? Like, it's just mean. You don't rub it in your opponent's face when you do something good. That's just not a nice thing to do. But I tell you what it is. It's real nice on the camera.
It makes good TV.
Because it's fun to watch, you know? And it's like these are characters in a sporting event or a thing that we're watching. And, you know, it makes it more dynamic. And I think you can do it. Like, I think what OSIP did was totally fine. Owen started laughing.
It was, I mean, it was just a fun moment.
Yeah, and I loved it that he did that. I thought it made a really, like, a cool moment into a moment I won't forget.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the thing you're talking about, like, how times have changed and whatnot, like, these days, if you look at all the Platinum Pros plus, you know, any of the big regulars on the Pro Tour, like, most of them are probably friends with most of the rest of them on Facebook. Like, everyone is sort of, you know, a big pack of people traveling around. A big family all playing Magic. And, like, back in the day when OSIP was winning PTs and, like, the earlier days of the Pro Tour, like, you know, your Boston crew and your New York crew even wouldn't necessarily hang out so much. And then you got, like, your East Coast, West Coast, and the Euros and whatnot.
And there was a bunch of rivalries,
yeah,
right?
a ton of, like, team rivalries that were a big deal. So it was there's a little bit more of an edge to it. Like, it was like, you know what, we're going to stick it to you guys and we're going to let you know about it.
Yeah, and we got a little taste of it.
It was great.
I've got to say, a cool thing that I just think happened is that the Peach Garnoth was upset this weekend at Team Limited, and they were the defending champions.
Yeah.
And not that it was necessarily cool, quote unquote, but I mean, like, that's the thing. They're like the giants of the game.
Not only were they defending champions, but in the finals, they played a team that was 2/3 of the team that they beat in the finals of GP Cleveland.
Grudge match.
Just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Which was, of course, the winners of GP Providence, which was Andrew Beckstrom, Martin Yuza, and Corey Burkhart.
Yeah.
Yuza and Burkhart coming from GP Cleveland.
Yeah, it was a really special moment for those guys, too. So Martin Yuza, I mean, he is now once again tied for the most accomplished GP player ever. He has 28 Grand Prix top eights.
Jeez.
That's
how many GPs have you played? I've played 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I've never come close to a top 8.
Did you say 28?
28!
28
top 8. So,
it's probably double the number of GPs I've played in my life.
Yeah, and he's won multiple, 7 or 8 or whatever it is. So, for him, look, it's special. Every one of them special for those players. But this was the first GP win for both Corey and Andrew.
Yeah.
And I talked to them immediately after. This is right before you were going to take the winner photos, Megan. And, I gave BK a hug. We call Andrew Beckstrom BK. It's his nickname. And he, he was tearing up a little. Like, he wasn't crying or anything, but he was like, I did it, And
I saw him on their phones, like telling their family and loved ones that they won. It was just, I just loved seeing that.
And Corey Burkhart Burkhart had multiple second place finishes at Grand Prix, including one that he chalks up to a loss based on his own mistake, which is a really tough, thing to. And he finally got over the hump. He thought he might last time, but Peach Guard and Oath, it turns out, are tough to beat. But he did, and it brings it all home because I've done all these GPs now, and when you get a chance to see these players who have put so much of their effort and time and emotional energy into it, and you see that elation of finally winning, because one thing that I think people don't really fully embrace about tournament Magic players, and so if you watch a Pro Tour or Grand Prix every once in a while or whatever, you think, oh yeah, well that guy's one of the best or whatever. Straight up winning tournaments happens very infrequently.
Even the best players in the world, don't have 1 million GP wins on their record.
No, they often have zero. Like a good example that I like to use is when Patrick Chapin won the Pro Tour a few years ago. Mm-hmm. That was his first premier level win.
Wow.
He hadn't won a GP, he hadn't won the Pro Tour.
Yeah, he'd had one finals at Worlds and some top 8s.
Yeah. I mean, he was a successful player. He's in the Hall of
course.
Fame, right? He's well respected. People know that he's great at the game. But this is what I'm saying. Even a guy of that caliber had never said, hey, I won.
Like this trophy.
I got the trophy.
Is it?
I did what I'm trying to do. Josh Utter-Layton's a similar type player. He had all these top 8s and stuff, but he won a GP. It was like, this is the first tournament he's actually won. I mean, I shouldn't say that. These guys have all won tournaments. It's not like they've never won the tournament, but I'm talking about premier play level, which is like Grand Prix and Pro Tours.
And speaking of premier level, like the two opposing teams for Uses and team and Peach Guard and Oath, one of them, it was all of their first Grand Prix they had ever played.
Maria, I was shocked.
Hats off
in the
to
top
them.
4,
Wow.
of this.
So, we talked about it when we were at the Grand Prix leading in about how hard it is to do well at a team limited event or any team event, because what you do is you take however much better the professional player is than the other player sitting across from them. Let's say it's 60-40. And normally you're like, well, that's not bad. Like I have a 40% chance to beat this pro. I might get there. But then you multiply it out by all 3, and all of a sudden it gets a lot harder. So seeing those 3 make the top 4, it happens very rarely that you don't know the names of the players in the top 4. It's always like, oh, that team made it. Nice.
And they're like, this must happen
course.
all the GPs you go to. You just make
and
the top 4.
And I went over and I was like, hey guys, so you're about to team draft in the top 4 of a Grand Prix. How many team drafts have you done in this format? And they're like, we've never team drafted ever. I'm like, the format? They're like, never.
Never. Just period.
Okay, well, it's only the Peach Guard and Oath. It'll probably work out for you. Turns out both of the newcomers were very quickly dispatched in the semis.
Yeah.
And that was a brisk set of semis to commentate, I must admit.
It was,
I was like, we're back in already? All right.
Like, really incredible work by them, though.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
I was blown
also
away.
the sportsmanship of like going into a top 4 where it's just like, oh yeah, I not only have to face like one, an amazing pro, but also I have to sit down with my 2 teammates who are also having to face off against like these pros with incredible records behind them. It's great.
Overall, a fantastic tournament, and if you didn't get a chance to check it out, I'd encourage you highly to go check it out on Twitch. You can watch the clip about OSIP on Reddit. It's been clipped, but you can go and watch the whole thing on twitch.tv/magic, because it was a great time.
It was a lot of fun. Lots of, it was neat to see, because in sealed deck, maybe if you played your pre-release or you're heading out to like some sealed PPTQs or something.
Yeah.
When you open these sealed decks in Ixalan, you don't always get like a Dino deck, because it's like you're only opening 6 boosters. There's probably not going to be a cohesive enough like Dino or Merfolk or Vampire strategy. But in these, they're getting to open 12. And in 12 boosters, you got to see across a bunch of them, like, most groups had, like, a Merfolk deck, a Vampires deck, a Dinos deck, or, like, a Merfolk, a Pirates, and a Dinos.
Right.
So you get to really see, like, those sealed...
The tribes at their best.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great point. We really got to showcase them. Now we have an idea of what to shoot for in draft.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what a great version of this looks like. Try to get here.
Yeah.
Except the one thing you won't see in team sealed decks that you might see in draft is I've got a charging monster troll that I can figure out how to splash it. That's the one bit you won't see, because there'll always be a red deck and they'll always take the monster sword.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, one thing that I saw, I feel like this was a great example, was one of the teams that ended up top 4ing. it was the team. It was like 3 really young guys, and they're all from China, and 2 of them are like studying in the U.S. And I like was watching some of their matches, and one of the guys was on a black-white vampires deck, and he had out the Adanto Vanguard, which is the 1/1 for 1 and a white that when it attacks, it gets +2/+0, and you can pay 4 life to make it indestructible. And this guy was just gaining. He had such a good vampires deck
That it didn't
like
matter.
everything had lifelink, so he could just regularly attack this 3/1 into it because he could just always pay 4 life.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
had so much life to spare.
As if that card wasn't good enough to start with.
It was
Yeah.
just like,
You know?
yeah.
Now he just gets to activate
It's
it at will.
literally
and it's
just,
fantastic.
literally just, you never imagine that card, but you just get to say,
It's 3/1
I'll make it
indestructible.
indestructible like at any point.
Yeah.
Can I just say 2
great.
words right now? Sanctum Seeker. There, I'm done.
that card did work.
Oh, vampires are so good in this format. So good.
Great.
Anyway.
Or the, the 3/3 that gives like +2/+0 to another vampire.
Oh,
+3/+0.
Anointed Deacon.
Anointed Deacon.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to see a great match from Providence with Sanctum Seeker, look at the last round of day 1.
Round 9.
Round 9. Mike Sigrist playing a Vampires deck with Sanctum Seeker. Very, very close set of games. Definitely worth checking out.
Awesome. All right. I hope you all out there in listener land are ready for the biggest Magic tournament of your lives. That's right. It's the World Championship coming up this weekend.
Of your life this year.
This year.
Because it happened last
And
year.
also
And
ever.
it will happen next
But this
year.
is different.
Yeah, this one's got
That's
some
true.
extra bells and whistles.
We've got some
this
extra
is-
spice.
This is the very first
Team series.
series championship, which is pretty sweet.
All right, so break it down for us. What are we going to see just generally when we tune in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, watching the World Champs?
So Friday and Saturday, you're going to get to see the Swiss portion of the World Championships. You're going to see 3 rounds of Ixalan Booster Draft and 4 rounds of Standard on each of those days.
New standard, by the way.
So that's 7 rounds a day. Draft and then Standard.
yeah.
Going to be great. Fresh Standard format. Still very fresh draft format.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, you're going to see the Team Series Championship, where you're going to see Musashi and Genesis face off. And then you're going to see the top 4 of
Sealed.
the world championship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Was
team
that
is
Barracuda
sealed.
that you were just saying?
Yeah, that was.
Team Sealed Barracuda.
Team sealed.
Yeah, see, that was the exact
Yeah.
same thing.
You know what, Marshall? I didn't know it was Barracuda till you told me, but once you said it, I knew you were
It
right.
was Barracuda.
Yeah.
Called it.
Yeah. So
Heart is gas.
it's team sealed for the Team Series Championship, and then the top 4 of worlds is standard. Again.
So it's 24 people are competing in the World Championship here, and the person who takes it all home gets $100,000.
That's the big change, by the
wow.
way.
Yeah.
That is the biggest individual prize pool ever in Magic.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. I confirmed that
That's
with the boss
insane.
man. I said, "Has there ever been more given away for first?" And he said, "Nope, this is it."
Yeah.
That's 100,000. I mean, you know, the Pro Tour you get 40,000. You know, there's times when it's 50 for certain events, and that is a serious chunk of change. But
Oh boy.
100K is like
Buy a boat.
that's real money. I mean, we're talking about like
Yeah.
you know, this is the most prestigious Magic tournament ever.
Yeah.
This
it's pretty-
one
This
coming
one.
up.
This
The
one.
World Championship is always the most prestigious of the year, but this is different than previous.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 100,000. That's just for first. Like second gets 50, I believe.
Oh god.
So second wins a Pro Tour.
I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't. I looked at the fact sheet a while back, and I'd have to double check, but it's a lot. Like, this is. There is a different vibe to the players getting ready for this as a result as well.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's
You
a
always
ton of
buckle
money.
down. You
Yes.
always want to win. But holy cow, if there's $100,000
You
on
are
the line,
putting 3
it's just
seatbelts
like,
on.
buckle it all.
Yes.
Buckle everything.
The
Buckle all
extra
the
digits
buckles.
worth of practice.
Ooh, they could wear buckles on their shoes. It would be very thematic for Boston.
No, that's the ghosts.
Uh-oh, irrational fear popping up.
So it's, yeah.
I'm the
okay.
Englishman. I have to be afraid of these ghosts way more than any of you
That's
guys.
true. That's a good point.
So,
Wouldn't have worn that red
qualified.
shirt, by the way, but
We're gonna do a little prediction here
All right.
of who's gonna take this whole thing down.
I already know.
Okay,
right,
Marshall thinks he
Royce.
knows. Go through who are we gonna see?
We've got Shota Yasuoka.
Yep.
Wow.
Whoa, is that you saying?
Marshall, calm down. We're gonna go through these players and how they
Okay,
qualified.
okay.
Pro Tour Kaladesh winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, incredible player.
Just great. Makes it look
He,
easy.
he actually is one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
super
like
good
amazing.
control player, especially in brand new formats, and this is a super brand new format.
Yeah. As noted by his Kaladesh win. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yes,
a brand new
it
format.
was.
He came in, just took it down. Lucas Esper Berthode, Pro
Yeah.
Tour Ether Revolt winner.
And look at this
Bear
smiling
two.
face. Bear
Bear
2.
2, thank you.
Esper.
I
And his
know,
name
right?
is Esper, so.
Except he won with Mardu
Yeah.
vehicles.
He did win with vehicles.
Paolo Vitor Damo de Rosa.
Okay,
Just
just.
casual 12 Pro Tour
I can't even
top
believe
eights
that guy
in
anymore.
his life,
Like,
including
what's his percentage on Pro Tour top 8s? It's like
100%.
It's something like a quarter.
Just kidding.
Ish. It's like,
Like-
above 20% or
oh
something.
my goodness.
so, and he won.
He's not a
he
human
won PT Hour of Devastation this
And
year.
he has dimples. Come on.
Yeah,
Do you
And
have
he's
to
getting
give him
married.
everything?
He just got engaged.
Yeah.
he just got engaged.
Sorry, ladies.
Marshall has single tears running down his cheek right now.
And to round out our Pro Tour winners, we have Jerry Thompson, Pro
Jerry
Tour
T.
Amonkhet.
You're a D.
Then we
By
have
the way, he's going to be a fan favorite.
Oh, yeah?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
People
I
love
agree.
him. He's
Jerry
great.
is very likable, very good guy, and easy to root for.
Yep.
then we've got Josh Utter-Layton, Magic Online champion.
The
from
Raptor
this year.
companion.
It's his format.
there's
It's
one
his
of it.
format.
Luis the Raptor companion.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
There's such good.
Then we have Sebastian Pozzo.
Pazzo.
Pazzo.
Pazzo. Thank you guys. I'm just butchering these names.
Yeah, well, you don't
Okay,
have to say them on
constructive
air.
We've
You
had to
just
say
have to
them.
know how to
No,
spell
fair enough.
them.
I gotta type them. 2016, 2017 Standard Master.
Yeah, he seems
Pretty
like
important.
a really nice guy.
Yeah, Martin Yuza, Draft Master.
Yep.
Hall of Fame elect,
Yes, recent Hall of Famer.
as is Josh.
Widely considered one of the best limited players to have happened.
Yeah, and he's really good at playing aggro as well, which if this
Yeah.
format is any indication which we saw from this past weekend, he might be well seated.
I heard that he just won a limited GP.
And
so
he just
there
won
we
a
go.
GP.
I heard
Just
that
won a
from
GP.
him this morning.
That's right.
Momentum.
Exactly.
Definitely a thing.
Then we've got Reed Duke, North American champion.
North American hair champion.
Marcio
U.S. national champion.
Carvalho. Yeah.
Oh, he lost
US
his hair
champion.
championship.
Oh yeah, you're
That's right. To
Corey
Corey.
took-
Burkhardt
we saw the
took
matchup.
him out.
Yeah.
Hair
that's
fight
true.
victor Corey
Hair,
Burkhardt.
hair fight.
They could actually get into a legit hair
Like,
whipping
tangle?
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they just like
Marie and I were judging
smack
them based
each
on
other
their
with
hair
hair.
flip.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember the hair flip judgments we were throwing?
Oh yeah, we were brutal.
Marcio Carvalho, European champion.
Always a bridesmaid.
Wow.
Well, he is.
He made the finals of a Pro Tour this year,
Yeah.
and he made the finals of the Monks.
Yeah.
And Worlds.
And
And
the
Worlds.
final of Worlds
World
last
Championship.
year. Wow. Poor always a bridesmaid.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I feel terrible.
If you go
for
around
him.
to his house,
Okay,
you have to
okay.
drink out of a mug because he's got no cups.
Then we've got Yuya Watanabe. Also, like last year's Hall of Fame class.
Yep.
He's also somebody that I would earmark as a
Oh, for
potential-
sure.
Every single year,
potential
because he's the only
favorite?
player that's played in every single World Championship since the format changed.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, he
goodness.
played it. He actually
That's
won
impressive.
the first one. We called it the Players Championship the first year before they rebranded it to the World Championship. But he
Mm-hmm.
won that. He actually was the only one to really tussle with Shota that year.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Shota dominated the Swiss and then just fell short in the finals.
Oh, rough. He's the Asia Pacific champion. Then we've got the rest of these are all on pro points.
These are the at-large.
These are the
players.
at-large players. We've got Sam Pardee, Seth Manfield, Brad Nelson, Owen Turtenwald, Kelvin Chu, Li Shiqian, Ken Yukihiro, Donald Smith, Martin Mueller, Javier Dominguez, Christian Calcano, William Jensen, Sam Black, and Eric Froelich.
Wow. How
What
am I
a
supposed
field.
to choose?
What a field. Do you know what? I asked Marshall this earlier, and he snap
He
had an
snapped
answer.
it off. Oh my gosh.
Marshall, do you want to tell us?
I'm
Or
gonna
do you
go
want to make
through-
you want to make
I
Maria
mean, I don't
answer
know if I want to
first?
spoil the winner
Okay.
You're so certain.
for your viewers and listeners.
Tim, do you
Tim,
do you
Tim,
have
who's
one?
your favorite?
It's a really,
damn
really
it.
tough year. Like,
It's absurd.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
like the thing that makes
this
it
is
really
a lot
tough.
of really good players.
Like, it's not just the players; it's the fact that this is like such a brand new standard format that, like, if one of the guys that's a really good deck builder is able to get an edge there, it's such an absurdly large edge, even
Yeah.
compared to a Pro Tour.
What's on the line here for our choice, by the way? If one of us gets
Oh
it right.
I'll
man!
bet anything.
Wow! Do you have like inside information on this though?
Well,
Yeah, I know who the best player in the world is.
Oh, right.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Marshall is certain.
Okay. Sorry, Tim. Continue.
We'll have to go. Well, okay.
How about we have to buy
Tim, you
whoever?
didn't pick anybody.
No, I'm hedging
Okay,
for now.
whoever wins,
I can
we
say
all
mine.
have to. If anybody gets it right, we have
Yeah.
to buy them a really nice pair of socks each.
Oh, that's great.
Love it.
Love
Okay.
it.
That's
Perfect.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Now the
How
stakes
do
are
you
higher.
do
I'm gonna
that?
think really
That
hard.
was so good.
Yeah.
That's exactly what needed to happen. And you just came
So
up
someone
with
gets
Because
3 pairs
Marshall
of
knows
socks
that
if
he's
they
gonna
get it.
win, and he's excited
I
about
would
wants
his
those
like
size
to
socks.
find some great socks.
Okay.
And if none of us get it, we each buy 1 pair of socks for one other person.
Okay. I
Sure.
like
So
that.
That's
everyone
fine.
gets 1 pair of
Sock
socks from someone.
exchange.
Yes.
Okay, so yes.
So it's a
I'm in
general
for the
sock
exchange.
potluck if none of us
Oh
win.
God, I want to scoop up all the socks so nobody else gets any, just me.
And you don't even need to buy any because you
Wow.
just get
That's
socks.
all I want.
Tim, all right, Tim, what's your guess? I've got my guess, you guys. I'm gonna go for
Okay.
it.
We
since
all
you're
can't. We
thinking
have to
about
choose
it.
different
I'm
people,
not
by the
thinking, I
way.
can do mine.
Okay, you go.
William Huey Jensen.
I knew that's who you're gonna say.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I think that Huey is the best player in the room. Of those players, I think he's the best player. If not, you can have arguments about the top 4 players or something. You know, you'd throw, I'd throw Yuya in there, Owen in there. I'd throw Eric Froelich in there, Paulo in there. I mean, there's 24 players. I'm probably forgetting a couple, but these are some of the names that kind of rise to the top for me in that way. And I think that Jensen has the highest peak among any of those players. That's just personal opinion. But the other thing is that so a motivated William Huey Jensen is about the scariest thing you can see.
That I know. That I do know.
When he came back to Magic, he wanted to make it into the Hall of Fame, and he also just kind of, I think, got it in his head that like, a little forgot about Dre. He's like, I used to be awesome at this, and like people of my Magic generation, I had no idea who he was. I remember the first time I met him, I'm like, oh, that was a nice guy. People, BDM had said he was good. I had heard that Finkel really was complimentary of Huey back in the day, even putting Huey in some cases above himself as far as most skilled player. But Huey hadn't played in a while. And then he came back, he started playing on Star City Circuit. He started winning those. I'm like, okay, but that's not the same thing as Grand Prix and Pro Tours. There's a different competitive level there. So then he started coming to Grand Prix. I was commentating these by this point. And I'm like, oh, he's in the top 8 again? He won one? And he rattles off like 8 GP top 8s
Yeah.
in a season, I
Yeah.
believe. And I'm like, what the heck? This guy's insane. And he gets a Pro Tour top 8, gets into the Hall of Fame. And, I think at that point, when you've accomplished as much as Jensen has, you have a little bit of a, well, now what? Because he's not going to catch John Finkel on top 8s. Right, he's not gonna get 10 more top 8s. He knows what kind of that would take, and frankly, Finkel's still picking them up. So, that's the kind of thing that just seems like, why bother? It's not worth it. But I'll tell you what, World Championship is a title that every Magic player wants to hold, and the other thing that every Magic player wants to hold is $100,000.
Huey's
And
got big hands. He
you
could
will
actually
literally
hold all of
hold
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I have seen a motivated William Huey Jensen over the past month, and that guy has been working really hard with his Peach Garden Oath teammates to the tune of 10-ish hours a day of real Magic. And I'm not talking about joking around, got a little pizza and like, I'll watch some TV while we're, they're
Never heard
down.
someone be so disdainful of pizza.
There's no pizza in the testing room at PGO. Also, Huey doesn't eat pizza, but anyway, and I just think that on top of all of that, coming all the way from the Pro Tour in Kyoto, where he really needed to put up a solid finish, he won the GP prior and then had a very solid finish to put himself back to platinum. I think Huey is dialed in, and to me, he's the favorite in the field. I mean, there's nobody who's an actual favorite, meaning there's nobody who's more than 50% to win. But I think that he has the biggest percentage of any of the players.
All right, Mark Marshall down.
Wow. All right.
William Huey
Book it.
Jensen.
And
Huey.
he gave by far the most convincing speech.
That was a great
of
speech.
any of us.
And you're both
I'm very
tall,
pa- I'm
so
very passionate about
hashtag
it.
tall solidarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it really was.
Solidarity.
No.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
make this a thing.
Yes, solidarity.
It's already a thing. She said it.
Goodness.
All right,
All right.
all right.
Tim.
Tim.
So I don't know quite. I definitely don't have as well reasoned an argument for this.
You don't have an Oscar
as,
speech
as
about it, you
Marshall
mean?
did.
That was
in
an
part
Oscar
because
speech.
Marshall's clearly
You
been
guys are
thinking
like
about
turning
this
the
more than
music
I
up
have.
on me.
And like, I definitely don't know about the level of practice that this player has had of this specific format or who he's working with.
I know who he's going to pick.
But
Go ahead.
for some reason, the name that just keeps popping into my head, and the more I think about it, the more I can't think of someone else for this, is Sam Puddy.
What?
Seriously.
Wow.
Party
That's
time.
awesome. I mean,
Alright.
Sam's awesome.
Sam, watching him play, like he takes his time, he figures it out, and like watching him play against the highest level players, he just consistently doesn't let the situation rattle him at all, doesn't let the moment adjust the way that he plays, and playing in newer formats, he seems to be dialed in on what's important in those constructed formats more than other players at the top level in Pro Tour level. Now, obviously, this is like a step above a Pro Tour in terms of difficulty level, but I think that Sam Pardee might be an interesting pick for
I
this one.
love that pick.
Yeah,
All right.
That's a great pick.
Sam Pardee.
Yeah, great pick.
Okay, Megan.
Mine's Paolo.
Paulo.
Yeah. I just
Okay,
think
I was
he's
going to
like-
pick him,
he's-
so I'm going to pick somebody
I
else.
know you were. That's why I went
Oh,
first.
dang it.
Because I think we talked about this when we were
Yeah.
looking at the field. We had talked about it at one point, and we were both just like, "Do you know what? He's got this very recent PT win.
Yep.
He's obviously just like absurdly good at the game of Magic,
yeah, it's
and just
disgusting.
like a delightful human being. So it's like I would love to see him.
And
win.
here's the thing. He
Dimples.
just got engaged, so he's feeling great about life. And I'm not kidding when I say when you feel really happy, you perform better in whatever
Yeah.
it is you're doing in
totally
life.
right.
It's
You're
very
totally
true,
right.
right? It's like that's what I'm saying. He's like got this recent PT win, like gotten engaged. He's like on the life high, where it's
Yeah.
just like I can do anything right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was recently his birthday, and I'm told he got a lot of Olive Garden
Just so many breadsticks.
gift cards. Yeah,
So
Perfect.
he is right
he's got
high.
a pocket full of Olive Garden gift cards,
Like what
a
more
lovely
does
fiance,
he need?
a recent trophy.
Like
He's gonna
all
look
the
back at this
Nutella he
time
can
in his
eat,
life.
which is a lot.
Exactly. Like
That's a solid pick.
when he's much older, 50 years from now, he's gonna look back at this year and be like, "That was the year."
You also went out on a limb, Megan, and took the player with the most top eights.
I
in the
know,
room,
right? I
so,
really,
wow. Yeah,
I'm, you
good
know,
for you.
Okay.
real wild shot.
All right, in the sock off, who's it going to be?
All right, here you go. Here's my guess, since Megan stole mine right under my nose.
I know.
I'm going to go with somebody who's been on a tear recently. And when you think of standard,
Ooh.
you think of the name Brad Nelson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
The Bard.
the Bard father.
Yeah. I trust the dude playing standard. Like
This guy knows standard.
snap.
Like, that's what he's known for. Him and his bro have been racking him up at recent GPs. And I just said,
GPs where the literal day before he'd be like, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm
feel
playing."
good. What should I
Right?
play?
He always
Right?
says that.
And then just show up, casually top 8 the
and
thing,
casually top 8 it. No big deal.
win one of them. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, so there you have it. Hashtag
Yeah.
Sock Off 2017. Hashtag World Championship.
And the place we were at today had really good socks as well.
I
So
know.
I know we're going to go to sort this out. at
That's
the end of
right.
it.
That's right.
If you have a
Find
prediction,
some real nice
please
socks.
tweet it at us at MTAcast using the hashtag Sock Off.
I
Yeah.
have a prediction of a lot of hashtag sock off Owen Turtenwald, a lot of
Yes.
hashtag
Oh, yeah.
sock off Eric Froelich.
You know what? I think
For
it would
sure.
be like, okay, I'm not like we
Any
could
of
go
these
through
guesses are good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I
Shota?
feel like we did not give enough love to
Yuya.
Shota.
I agree with
Shota
you.
and Yuya.
I agree.
Yuya
Like
is my
those are
second
two
one.
players where I'm just like, gosh,
Well,
for
we're-
me it was so tough between those three. It's like I could have
I
taken
mean, so the reason I
any one
didn't
of
pick
those three.
Shota is because
I thought you
don't-
were going to pick Shota.
Yeah,
I
I
love
thought you were
Shota.
too.
You're a huge
I'm a
Shota
huge fan of
Yeah.
Shota. But, and to be fair, like, it doesn't seem to actually make any difference how good control is in a format for Shota to do well with control. But this really does not seem like a format where control is at its
I
best.
see.
And that's almost certain to be where he's going to end up on his standard deck.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be all in on Shota.
Well, and also, you know, you mentioned the schedule-wise, it's 4 rounds of standard, 3 rounds of draft, and Shota's not known for excelling at booster draft. He seems to have made some.
He's got the same
some
number of
stuff-
top 8s of GPs at draft as he has at constructed,
Yeah,
which is like 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that he has some room there.
Sure, that's fair enough.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Absolutely.
so tune in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this weekend, twitch.tv/magic. All right, it's time for Flavor Text Theater, the dating game. And since Marshall is sitting in between us in a giant chair, like a throne.
I'm in the throne here.
Like Marshall ended up on the throne of magic.
Bow before me.
We are going to have him be our
All right,
bachelor.
hold on, I'm
and
gonna shuffle this up.
Okay,
so
and
you
we will
won't-
be the suitors. We've just cracked an Ixalan booster pack here. So Megan, Tim, and I will each be a suitor represented by a magic card from Ixalan. And in the end, Marshall will have to choose which one of us to take on a date and also which cards we are. Of course, these cards going into the drawing for our Patreon. If you become a patron, you are eligible to win these fabulous cards. And the other ones we've opened this month, along with other great prizes like
All right,
playmats.
Pick one for Tim and hand it over there.
All right, Tim, this is who you are. And if it makes no sense, you can send it back. Sometimes the instants are a little weird.
Wait, here, give him 2 more to pick from.
Okay.
We'll give you 3 cards
Here.
Tim, and you can pick one.
Yeah,
from
there you
I
go.
mean, they almost certainly should be creatures.
Yeah, it's going to be a
right?
creature.
Usually
I don't
easier.
want to date a sorcery.
Okay. Nobody wants to date a
Magic
source.
speaking
You
for
certainly
all
also
of
don't
us.
want to date an instant.
No. I'm not that type of guy, you know?
All right, I got one. It's a goodie.
Okay, I've got a good one too.
Man, now I'm picking because
Okay.
I'm getting to see all of these. All right, I've got one.
Okay, great.
So do I stick with one person until I figure it out, or am I bouncing?
You'll
you
bounce back and
You
forth.
ask one
Okay,
question.
where should I start? Just go
We'll
in this
go
order?
this way, and then you can turn it around and go the other way first
Yeah.
and
Okay.
start in the
Should
middle.
we all? Yeah. Should
So
we all
this
introduce
is
ourselves?
Yeah, A, B, and C, and we're gonna introduce ourselves to you.
Okay, great.
So ready for the theme
Like
music?
I'm a fun-loving.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, gotcha.
Welcome to the dating game, where we've got 3 contestants and 1 bachelor ready to go on a date. Who will he choose? Stay tuned. Bachelors, introduce yourselves.
Oh my god.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Bachelor number 1. Bachelor number 2, who's also me. Please introduce yourself. Well, Marshall, I am so happy to maybe go on date with you later. I hope the date is at nighttime.
Tim, I'm sorry.
Bachelor number 3.
Oh, hi! I'm Bachelor number 3. You want to be calling me?
Oh my god.
Wow.
No idea.
So should I start with Bachelor
Yeah, so
or
now
Bachelorette number 1?
It's
down
totally
there
up to you.
on the end.
Yeah, go for it.
Bachelorette number 1. If you were to take me out for dinner, what would we eat?
We'd eat raw steak. I would slaughter animals.
Can I guess?
Antelopes, zebras.
Can I guess?
Sure.
I can't remember the card. The 4-2, the tuna red. This 4-2.
No,
Frenzied Raptor.
Frenzied Raptor.
no.
Okay.
We'll have more
gonna-
than we could
I'm-
possibly eat.
I'm gonna skip you and I'll come
But
back.
I'll eat all of it.
Great question. For dinner, we will be going out to the park and choosing someone. And then we will go up to them, smell their neck, and take a bite. Preferably someone small, because that's where I work best, with another small creature.
Oh, I know what you are now. I'm gonna guess you later.
Okay.
Because I figured it out. She's anointed deacon.
Oh, okay.
Bachelor number 3. If we were to go out to dinner, what would we eat?
Well, we would definitely not eat fish. Because that would be real bad. But I like things that are wet. Maybe
All right.
if we went
boy.
somewhere stormy, that would be good. Maybe some soup.
I think I know what this one is.
All right,
Can I ask more
hit us with
questions?
more
Absolutely.
questions.
You can always ask more questions.
Bachelorette number 1. What would your nickname for me be if we started dating?
Well, I guess I would call you. I would call you my delicate little friend. Because I'd be afraid that otherwise I'd just trample all over you. And you could call me special.
Special?
All right, think I know what that one is now.
Because I'm rare, you don't come across me often. I'm better than rare.
Oh.
Oh, now I know what you are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bachelorette number 1, would you say that you're hard to get at? You're hard to
Yes, I don't like
interact
people.
with?
I don't
You're a
like
little
people.
closed
I don't
off
like
to the world,
interacting with people.
except for people that you know well.
I'll interact with them in combat.
All right, so that's Carnage Tyrant.
That's me.
Oh, you're a Carnage Tyrant.
Oh, big money prizes.
You're Anointed Deacon.
I'm Anointed Deacon.
I'm gonna ask another question. I want one more round of questions.
Sure.
For, I guess, Tim, because he's some type of fish, something.
Yeah.
But he's not the big fish because there's only one rare in a pack, right?
Yeah.
Unless he's foil.
He's a foil.
Are you a foil?
I'm not a foil.
Yeah. You broke character there, but we're gonna let it slip. Bachelorette number 1.
I didn't even answer the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Back to you. What would your nickname for me be?
Well-
Wait, what was your nickname? For me?
My nickname for you would be Type A, both for your personality and your blood type.
Well, I am the storm, so you could be my little rainbow.
I know who he is.
I do too, except for I can't remember the card's name.
I know, it's so hard.
I don't remember.
It's the 3-2 unblockable. What's it called?
No.
It's not.
Oh, it's
Oh,
not
no, I
the
know
3-2
what it
unblockable.
is. It's Storm Tamer, whatever. Okay. One more question. Bachelorette number 1. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
Oh, great question.
Any.
This is an important relationship question that we need to get through if we're going to go on a date.
Well, I'd like the kind of ice cream that's served out of carts because my ice cream can't be passed across a counter. I can't be countered with ice cream.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Bachelorette number
Yes.
2. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
My favorite kind of ice cream
Is it blood
is
orange?
blood orange. You got it.
All right, I thank you, Bachelor number 2.
Yes.
You're a little predictable, but I like you.
You know, I have got a
like you.
thing.
Bachelor number 3. What's your favorite kind of ice cream?
My favorite kind of ice cream comes from a tap. I like to tap all the ice cream. All the ice cream tap at ice cream.
All right, I changed it.
Okay.
Okay, can I guess?
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
So you're Anointed Deacon.
Yes.
You're Carnage Tyrant.
Yeah.
And you're the 2-3 for 2 blue that I can't remember the name of. No, you are Water Tap Weaver. Final answer.
You had it.
You
so
had it.
close.
You
Oh,
had
it
it. It's
was
the
the
other
other
one.
one?
Yeah.
Call me, I'm Tempest Caller.
I don't know the name of that card.
I know. That was the one that I could never remember.
So do I
Tempest
have
Caller.
to pick who I'm going on
Yeah.
a date with?
No, Marshall. Who would
Being
you
a
go on
giant
the date with?
dinosaur, a bloody, thirsty vampire,
Yeah.
or a
fish.
tiny merfolk, or a fish.
So,
Call me.
too slippery, too hungry, winner.
Oh, Anointed Deacon. We'll
Even
go
though
on
it
the...
leads to my imminent
Marshall,
doom.
you will be
Nice
dead.
knowing you.
Goodbye, Marshall, sweet prince. Carnage Tyrant, though, pretty sweet
What is that
mythic.
card called again?
Yeah.
Tempest Caller.
Tempest
Right,
Caller. This
Tempest
is going
Caller.
in the drawing.
Hey, that's a good one.
I know.
Yeah.
Really good one.
Yeah, people
right.
are going
One
to
of the
like
best rares
that
in the
one.
set.
If you are a patron of MTA Cast, you could potentially win this Carnage Tyrant.
That means
Yeah.
I could potentially win that.
Me
That's
too.
right.
Yeah, you
if
could.
I do, can I not, though?
Sure.
We'll say that you
I'd
want and give
rather
it to
send
somebody
that
else.
To somebody, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need a Carnage Tyrant. I already turned it down.
I know, you already turned down a Carnage Tyrant, so do you know what,
I
buddy?
feel like there's some
You're
like,
not getting this dino.
yeah, wouldn't be good if I took
Well, that's our episode. Thanks so much for listening or watching, everybody. And thanks, of course, to Marshall and Tim for being our ultra special guests.
Thanks for having us on. It was
That
fun.
has been awesome.
Yeah, this has been great hanging out with you. And the good news is we get to hang out with them more this week
That's right.
for the World
You're going to
Championship.
have your fill. There's no doubt about it. You're going to be on that airplane like, all right, enough Marshall and Tim for one 5-day stretch.
And of course, you can find us, as always, on Twitter at MTAcast, Facebook.com/MTAcast, Patreon.com/MTAcast, and a big thank you to our sponsor again, CardKingdom.com/MTAcast.